I can see no metal flecks, so I don't think that water tore anything up. I'm still wondering how water even got into the motor oil, but hey, I could be down the wrong rabbit hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the D.E. Nichols channel. AutoBravado.com. These are actually pretty good picks from Harbor Freight. I've only broken one really, and that's like a year of professional use, but I needed to get one a second time. And I only broke my favorite one, and I've been more gentle with it this time. So I'm just getting the spring straight. Since I noticed a couple of them are a little crooked. So all the water is probably the gush of this. It wasn't down in the cylinder at all. I really wish I could confirm the gap, because my naked eye thinks it's a bit off. All the auto stores is closed. Yes! I knew I wouldn't let myself down. This spark plug freak was prepared. Let's take another look at those spark plugs. Let's see, did I lose gap from the experience? Let's see. 0.41. That's not too far off. Technically it should be 44 thousandths of an inch. Sorry, I don't know it in metric. 42. If you recall, I do suggest you rewatch it. I lost a spark plug. I did a study on fuel injector temperature, where I said I thought my fuel injectors were slightly uneven. I didn't lose one, it's just so easy. That it could either be slightly off spark plug gap or injector that can adjust the temperature of your fuel injectors. And see, that's a 4.4. So I'm leaning towards that it was spark that had me a bit off. So I should even these up. I know, people freak out. Don't adjust gap, they're iridiums. Well, if you want maximum power, you're going to have to adjust them. That's too much. They say you'll ruin the coatings. Still got a lot of miles out of them. The more you test it to the same one, you have to replace them all the time. But I'm satisfied that one's good now. It's at 44 thousandths like it should be. That one's a little bit off. My AutoZone gaps are my favorite because it's perfect for prying with how it hangs on the shelf. These are pretty warm from being in the engine, so they adjust really easy. That's about a thousandths off. It was about a 43. Or this is worn out. I have no way of knowing what gap I'm really at. Steve Robs commented on having a perfect tool for seeing gap. It stays true, unlike these. I might have something like that. At work. Okay, that looks good now. Hey, usually in the middle of the night, If there's a big problem with the car, I get too excited. I don't just fix what's wrong. I also get a tune-up out of it. Alright, they're all 44,000, so I'm going to install these babies. Let's see if the problem's gone. Or I could grab my laptop, carry it through the rain, and borescope these really, really carboned up heads. Holy cow, Chris Fix. I have a dirty engine. You've got millions of views on this subject. I'm sticking a borescope and seeing how well fuel injectors do. But I can see plain as day that's a filthy one. That's totally carboned up. So you could say my water decarbonization doesn't work. I think it does. It works great on valves. Really shouldn't move tools with my camera hand. But yeah, they're really totally carboned up, so I could totally test out some cleaners and see if it helps. Oh man, I ran all kinds of things through it and they're still filthy, but I still think it helps the injectors and the valves and how well they'll seal, because I've proven that with water decarbonization. And I think the fuel injector cleaners do things. But it's like Eric the Car Guy said on the recent live event. Hey, gasoline's already a solvent. How much good are you doing by putting a solvent in your engine? It's reassembled, so let's check this out. Come on. Alright, so I did effectively get the fuel system with the EFI or F heater circuit, just so you know. How to reinstall that? That combustion sounded rather dry, didn't it? No water, not even fuel. Got to open the garage a bit to keep myself from asphyxiating. Well, it runs worse, great. Oil's got water contamination, I better change it. Gotta change that, that's horrible. If it immediately recontaminates, I blew ahead. Here's hoping it's not milky, even though it was from up top. Oh, that oil's horrible. That's me breathing out that steam. Guess air's cool down here from having the garage still slightly open. Here's to not having blown a head gasket, though technically I already have a head gasket. I hate doing this to my tool because I always clean it off, but I can see no metal flecks, so I don't think that water tore anything up. I'm still wondering how water even got into the motor oil, but hey, I could be down the wrong rabbit hole, as my diagnostic trainer at work would say. if I'm headed down the wrong path on a problem. There could just be more water in the oil because it's been raining so dang hard. Little trick for you, when you want to get the last bit of crap out, pour some cheap oil on top. Oh wow. Of course, when it's that nasty, makes you want to pour even more cheap oil down. Well, here's a good point that maybe I could have worried about the oil a little less. Milky oil cap. Has been raining a lot. See? What disturbed me is I did my trick where I poured a little cheap oil, you know, maybe so cheap for a project that you thought you'd use, but now you discover you never will. New part of the rag. Didn't pour enough oil in. Still low. Almost topped up. Not that I need perfection when I might have a ruined engine. Good habits die hard. Let's see how she starts up. I might need to just take her for a good drive and see what happens. Still runs like crap. I'm getting pressure off of the oil, so I might have lost compression in the cylinder. I guess I do need to do a compression test. As always, I believe this is a view into combustion. 42 degrees. 39, 43, 44. So basically what I think happened is my valve training is done. I think that's what happened. You know, those, while you're in there, they can really add up. That's one of the advantages of going to work and being a pro. Customers only want to pay for one thing. You never get distracted from getting that one thing done for them. Ever. Engine rebuilding. Well, while I'm in there, I should do this. What? You really need a budget and stick to it, or understand that it's going to drag out for a long time. Remember, get out there and work on something.